This video is for those of you that know that you came to this planet to create and share art. I know how it goes. Right now, you're probably working on figuring out how to build a life around your creative calling, right? Trust me, I get it. I've been creating art since I was 3 years old, while I used to cry because I couldn't get my hands to express what was in my mind. But going to an arts high school helped me fix that. But my biggest takeaway from those years of breathing art day in, day out was that I knew somehow, some way, this had to be my life. And so that's why I spent most of my 20s trying different creative jobs and side hustles. I was trying to figure out a way to earn money in a way that helps me to focus on creating art so that I could then build from there. I'm 28 now, and I thank God every single day for blessing me, because I feel like I'm starting to crack that puzzle, especially this year. Like, things have really started to take off for me. I'm freelance designing. I'm working 3 days a week. I am earning enough to live by the sea, take trips overseas, and in my free time, I'm focused on painting and creating content and planning for my business and my success. I feel so blessed. But yeah, I'm gonna share some fundamental things in this video that have helped me to get here. But first, before we even get into that, I wanna address some doubts and worries that I feel like could get in the way, because I know that we artists are prone to overthinking and worrying. So let's dive straight into it. That's some good shit. So look, I am so grateful right now for my position and my foundation, but I would be lying to you if I said that I wasn't nervous sometimes, because the world just seems so uncertain right now. I mean, look around. We have the global economy, it's crumbling. We've got Zionist-infested governments that are continuing to perpetuate genocide. Censorship is up. Social media is cooking us. It's looking kind of bleak right now. And again, because I'm an overthinker as well, sometimes I feel like this current level maybe isn't sustainable because things could get really bad. I mean, we've had so many back-to-back Black Swan events that sometimes I fear maybe the chaos might catch up to me and affect me expressing and realizing my creative potential. But then I have to remind myself that number one, everyone deserves to dream and achieve. And then number two, these things that I'm worrying about are literally just symptoms of the times that we're in. Because right now, we are living in the fourth turning. If you're not familiar with the fourth turning, it's basically a concept that suggests human history or society repeats itself in a cycle every 80 to 100 years, which is roughly one human lifetime. It kind of mirrors concepts like the 4 yugas in Hinduism, but just on a shorter time frame. But in this modern version, one historic 80-year cycle contains 4 turnings or seasons that last roughly 20 years each. These would be what we know as generations, so boomers, Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, and so on. And so the idea is these 80-year historic cycles are super similar to each other because each turning has distinct characteristics, again, like the seasons. Summer sun, winter snow. Turning 1 is a societal high. The last one that we had saw an economic boom after the World War. The civil rights movement started picking up some steam. Cars became a thing. The space race had people in a chokehold, and rock and roll was birthed. Turning number 2 is an era of spiritual awakening in society. So the last one that we had saw the rise of liberation movements like women's rights, sexual freedom, and anti-war activism. Also, MLK made his famous "I Have a Dream" speech. Turning number 3 is an unraveling. So that is when the culture starts to fracture. And that definitely happened after 9/11. The internet started picking up steam, niche media became a thing, conspiracies were more of a thing, and also the banks started to ease up on rules on financial institutions, which just caused mayhem in the long run. And turning 4, like phase 4 of the MCU, is all about our world or universe crumbling. Yes, predictive programming. I mean, yeah, we've had the Arab Spring, the 2008 financial crisis, COVID, back-to-back wars, man, it's a lot. And these days, when I think about these things and it gets too much, I just go outside. Wake up early, go to a park if you can, and you will receive creative downloads. You will receive the messages and the solutions to the things that you're thinking about and needing to solve in your life. I firmly believe that. So yeah, get outside. There are multiple realities coexisting together all at once, all the time. And so while some people are going to unfortunately get wrecked in the fourth turning, others are going to thrive and prosper and avoid the pain and chaos. But people like us, we're not here to just simply avoid the BS. Artists, I believe, are here to help heal things once the dust settles. And I primarily believe that because, each turning has a dominant archetype that defines the generation. The boomer's archetype is the prophet. Think about Steve Jobs and the innovation that he put forward. Gen X are nomads. They want to build things that advance and push society forward. That would be someone like Elon Musk. Millennials are leaders, strong leaders, and thought leaders. That would be someone like Simone Biles. And Gen Z, well, Gen Z are a generation of artists who want to heal and avoid toxic jobs, people, and situations and return to more natural ways of living. Whatever the medium, art is powerful because it creates or destroys narratives by tapping into people's emotions and subconsciously programming them through repetitious visual language. And all of that inspires people to take action, which ultimately shapes culture and civilization. This is why I say that artists are truly the caretakers of culture and why realizing that role is important. Because if you want to be one of those artists that fully steps into their purpose and power, then you have to have clarity over your role so that you can play your position effectively. And sure, knowing your vision, your niche, your brand messaging, and your visuals are all key parts and pillars of that reality, right? But before getting to all of that good stuff, you have to set a solid foundation of health and finances so that you can build from there. And the reason why I group those two things is because for people like us with the lifestyle that we want to live and the things that we want to achieve, you can't have one without the other. It doesn't make sense and it would be pointless. You can't build a house without a strong foundation. You can't get active without having the energy. That is why you need to look after yourself. Trust me, like I've learned the hard way. You can try to push yourself for a while, but it will not be sustainable and you will eventually burn out. I learned that the hard way by ending up in hospital at the beginning of the year for a week because I was trying to do way too much. So I went back to basics. I gave myself that health and financial foundation so that I could build from there. And now I'm touching new levels, man, and life is smooth. I think putting life on calm mode was probably the best decision that I've done all year, hands down. And I ain't moving from this spot because it's helping me to tap back into that creative dimension, which feels great because I felt like I was losing touch with that after so many months away from consistent art and content creation. But yeah, that rest and relaxation and reflection, it did me well. And now I'm excited because I have all these ideas and messages and content and energy that I want to bring to you. And it's coming from a place of relaxation and gratitude gratitude rather than a place of anxiety and burnout. And I personally never want to share from that energy, because the realest ones watching you can tell when you're in that energy, or if you're faking being okay, being peaceful, being positive. They'll reject it. You know, you can't fool the real. And then on the financial side of things, I also had to get myself together, but in a different way. I think the best way for me to describe it to you is it was time to put more in to get more out. And I say that because I was freelance designing and had relative success, in the sense that I was a year and a half deep into it. I had an okay portfolio. I had projects coming in. My schedule was flexible, but still I was just kind of getting by. And so I felt that personally and professionally, it was just time to do more. So I manifested or attracted bigger design projects. And I even traveled a couple times because of it. And I just feel like I've reached a new level in how I even operate as a freelancer these days. And something else that I did as well was move out of my mum's spot in London. I left the nest, and now I'm down here by the coast, and I'm just activating differently. You know what? I'm just activating differently because I'm flying on my own wings. If you know, you know, like when you leave home, your grind just becomes different because it's you. You have to look out for yourself. You have to have backup plans in place. And so now I'm just really trying to adjust to that mindset and just keep building from here. And I feel like that's important, because when you are clear on your vision, you will do anything you need to, what you must do to service that vision. There is no excuses. No one's coming to save you. You have to get active and make it happen. And part of that is giving yourself a financial base so that you have the tools and resources to build with, because your vision is going to take those things. There is no time for ego in that. You have to get whatever legal track, whatever job you can get, and yeah, give yourself that base. And sure, the ideal scenario is to use your skill set to make money legally so that you can build from there, right? Like I'm doing with freelance design. But if that's not happening for you right now, that's not to say that it's never gonna happen. It just means that you have a bit more experimenting to do so you can find that thing that works for you, or crack that code, that first kind of level, and then go from there. But the most important thing is that fundamental goal of just making it happen. Finding whatever job you can to give yourself those resources to build with. Because look, let's keep it a stack. Life is always gonna have sacrifices. There's always gonna be a price to pay, a bill to pay for the things that you want. And it's just about where you're placing those sacrifices in your life. Will it be on your ego that wants to resist a conventional job for a bit while you build? Or is the sacrifice gonna be in your living standards so that you don't really have the resources and the things that you need to build? It's really just a choice. And I'm of the opinion that we don't need to struggle while we build. That shit is cooked. Let's leave that starving artist narrative in the past. That does not belong in our reality. Because the thing is as well, life isn't promised. Any day could be our last, yeah? And so we deserve to experience and enjoy life right now. And that's not to say that we won't plan forward for our higher successes and our aspirations and our goals, and we won't work towards them. It's just finding a balance between the two. And part of that, again, is having a financial base so that you can access experiences in life. But look, if you've watched this video to this point and it resonates, then I have no doubt that you are the type of person who's gonna put in the work to make their dreams a reality, to reach their definition of success. And we absolutely have to do that as well. It's our duty, because the culture needs us right now as caretakers of culture to show up and put positive things, positive messages, positive visuals out into the world. And you are going to do it. We're gonna do it because we got this.